Hello Gemini, and welcome to your reading today. I hope you're all doing really well. There's actually sunshine outside. How about that? It's really cold though. Gemini, I'm going to get started. Whoops. Spirit want me to use these, which is my original Oracle deck I bought many moons ago, and they're ready to give us the first cards. Gemini, we're looking at any messages that Spirit want to bring forth today, anything they want you to know, any advice they want to give you, and just see how your general energy levels are at the moment. So we start with obstacles and challenges. I'll come back to that in a moment because I do like the fact that it's where it is, if it has the feature. We have financial and material changes. We have patience and planning. Wow, Gemini, you're on a roll. We've got material and spiritual prosperity. Wow. Bottom of the deck, we have light. I love this for you, Gemini, because it looks like, although there may be difficulties and challenges around you at the moment, things are really beginning to flow. Things are really beginning to pick up. We see this card here. This guy doesn't know quite where this path is going to lead him. It looks like he's going to drop off the edge and he doesn't know what's going to happen to him. And there may have been times recently where you felt, just very unsettled, Gemini, like, you're sick of things going wrong, like you don't know which direction to go in. Some of you will be at a crossroads of some sort. And it feels like the steps forward that you've tried to take, there's constantly something blocking you. I'd like to see the Six of Swords come out in this reading because that would show you working through these obstacles. We don't really need it though, because when we look at the rest of these cards, there's a big emphasis on your financial and material well-being. We see here the financial and material changes. Positive movement forward. I don't know in what format that's going to come. It will be different for all of you because obviously it's a general reading, as I always say. But there's definitely some sort of change around you at the moment. Now, for some of you, that could be an increase in finance. For some of you, it could be that finances are a little bit tight because you've had a change in your material world and a change in your circumstances maybe. But it feels like it's a good step forward. It feels like it's moving in a positive direction. So I like to look at that card more positively than negatively, Gemini, because that's the energy I'm getting from it in this reading. You may have to put a lot of thought into the way you want things to move forward. You may have a plan of action in mind. Now, as I say, this could be about any area of your life. It could be about your life in general. But, whatever it is for you, I think you need to actually maybe slow down things a little bit. We have the card, we have patience and planning here. So it's maybe worthwhile at the moment with this foundation that you have, taking the time to really think through how you want the next stage of your life to be. I do think there's going to be stability here because the towers on this card, or the columns, they're not towers, are incredibly solid. And looking through them, we see all this beautiful light. Now, remember, we had light at the bottom of the deck as well. So you are being spiritually assisted in your journey here. You have got a spirit with you. If you notice at the bottom of this deck, there are autumnal leaves, okay? So, brown shades of the leaves falling. There's a message here about you having to let the past go in order to let new light in. And for some of you, that will take a bit of time, but you have this time in order to get your plans in order, Gemini. So, that's good. steady progress. I wanted to say process. That's really interesting. Process. Yeah, maybe it's about giving you the time to choose which process you use to move forward in order to get the progress. Yeah. Definite changes here. And I do think, as I say, you've had something tricky going on that you've had to deal with. But look at the outcome here, Gemini. Look at this. Material and spiritual prosperity. So even if this first financial card has put you in a position where maybe you're not in as strong a financial position as you were, know that the outcome is that you're going to be. There's also this spiritual prosperity. We know that spirit are very much around you. They're sending you this light, you know. Yeah, we'll come back to that in a moment. But I didn't get a negative feeling with this first financial card anyway. I just think your circumstances are different, or there are changes around you that are impacting your financial position, or could be to do with property, because we have material changes here as well. So property kind of just came up. So yeah, but no, look at this, at the latter end of your reading. This is what you're working towards. This is what is coming in for you, you know, and it is prosperity. So we're looking at abundance here. For some of you, this may be about new partnerships, because we have 2 of everything. The trees at the back are in a pattern of 2, 2, 2, 2. We have the 2 fountains here. And this man is standing right in the middle. So again, we have this sort of stable feeling, because we have the 2 columns here. The trees in 2s, as I said, the fountains in 2s. There's something here about, you know, feeling like you've got a handle on things, feeling like you've got both feet on the ground. And then you get this spiritual energy. Spirit are sending light through your crown chakra. So, you know, if you get sudden thoughts that are, you know, inspirational to you, or sudden memories of people that have passed, know that you are receiving messages from the spirit world to actually bring that light into your life, that inspiration to help you on your journey. This looks really good, really solid, and yeah, guided, to be honest. I'm going to come back to this obstacle card in just a second. I'm just literally having a cup of tea, which I don't normally have in readings, but for this moment in time, I'm in need. Okay, right, let's get the tarot. Which tarot were we using? Spirit? Do we want to go there? Do we want to go there? We want to go here. I don't use these tarot very often. I do sometimes, but for some reason we're using them now. So let's see. Page of Pentacles, yeah. Yeah, this is interesting, because the Page of Pentacles, there may be lessons being learnt here. These obstacles and challenges, I think, have been quite difficult for some of you, Gemini. I think, you know, it's caused you a lot of frustration. It maybe caused you some heartache. But I do feel that there's been lessons learned in that scenario. And there may have been painful lessons for some of you. Not for all of you, but for some of you. But I do think it was important for you to start this roadway of you know, being sure about the direction you want to go in, maybe this opportunity to increase your financial position. The Page of Pentacles is very steady, but he wants to learn to do things in the correct way. So I think maybe for some of you, it was a challenge to handle whatever this situation was for you. It could have been a series of situations and obstacles. But, you know, there's maybe a hidden message there somewhere for you. Maybe about the way you're handling things, maybe about your approach to things. It's all a learning experience. King of Cups. King of Cups is showing up a lot in readings at the moment. Doesn't matter which deck I use. I think he's come up for the last 4 or 5 readings, which is interesting. Do ignore the state of my nails. They're terrible at the minute. Anyway. Yeah, King of Cups. There's something here, Gemini, about when these changes happen. Be careful who you share your information with. The King of Cups is sitting here in this particular deck in very rocky waters. In other decks, he shows in calm waters, but I was led to this deck today. So he's keeping his own counsel. He's making sure that he protects his interests. And he's sitting in some rocky waters. So there's just something here about lessons learned. And maybe it's lessons about who you can trust and who you can't. Because, as I say, the sea around him is very rocky. And he's trying to hold on to his position. So it may be that there's been conflict around financial or material matters. And, you know, you've learned along the way who you can trust with those discussions and who you can't. Very interesting energy coming from that King of Cups today. Yeah, maybe there's some secrets going on. Maybe you've had to keep some secrets, Gemini. Maybe you've had to keep that information to yourself, or maybe somebody is hiding something from you. Let me know which way resonates for you. Drop a comment down below if you want to share that. But, you know, the moon talks about deluded energy. It talks about illusion, things that are hidden. So it could be that, you know, you're having to stand your ground while you find out things, or things become uncovered, you know, in order to bring you those changes that you're yearning for. And I do feel it's changes that you want, Gemini. I don't think these are changes that are being forced on you. Yeah, you're going to get harmony back into this situation, though. It may take a while, as we said, because there's some planning to be done. And if you've been in these choppy waters, that's why we saw the autumn leaves here, why Spirit drew my attention to them, because it is about being able to let go of hurtful things that have happened, or just difficult times where, you know, you felt troubled about things. It's about letting go of that, but harmony is coming back in. We see the Lovers here. The Lovers doesn't always mean romance. It can do. It can be a new person coming in for you. But also it can be you really connecting with who you are and the projects you start getting involved in, or the work you're working on, whatever that is for you. It also, you know, it's just something that you feel inside, you feel very connected to. So, but for some of you, this may be a new person coming into your life. But look at this. Talk about tying things up together, because we have the Wheel of Fortune. And I love this Wheel of Fortune because it's like mad energy. You know, it feels like it's really quick moving, but the wheel is turning in your favor, Gemini. We know that you've got this material and spiritual prosperity coming your way. I think your self-awareness has been raised through the lessons you learned from the experience you've just been through. And you're definitely, as I said, getting support and help from Spirit to move things forward. The wheel brings in luck, it brings in good fortune, it brings in sometimes material and spiritual prosperity. You know, luck is coming in for you, Gemini. I'm messing up the cards. Here we go. So what happens after the Wheel of Fortune, Spirit, when this luck comes in, when this prosperity comes in? Temperance. They've just said the word equilibrium. So I think life will become a lot more straightforward for you, Gemini. I think it will become a lot more balanced. We see the balance here, the infinity symbol. I think you'll be able to start the next chapter of your life knowing that there's going to be some longevity to it, you know. I don't see you chopping and changing or any more major changes coming in unless it's something you choose further down the line. So, you know, yeah, whatever this is, this turn of fate or this person coming in, whatever this is for you, the movement forward is going to bring a lot of balance and a lot of fairness into your life. I think, you know, any matters here that were causing problems, any obstacles, they're going to be in the past, and you are going to be able to settle to a much more productive movement forward. You're going to see things a lot more clearly. Again, King of Swords coming up in all the readings at the moment. So these two kings are busy at the moment. And it's lovely to see both of them in your reading, because we have a balance here over the King of Cups, who is very much ruled by the heart. So this was a really emotional time. And this is you with the King of Swords back in your mind-led energy, you know. This is you maybe removing yourself from the emotional turmoil here, seeing things with more clarity, being able to be more... you know, think things through, work things out, be more logical about things, you know. So interesting for you, Gemini, today. But on the bottom of the deck, I love this for you. I love this. Not only have you got material, what was it? Financial and spiritual prosperity, you have on the bottom of the deck the Ten of Cups. And I think this is what most of us are aiming for, isn't it? This is family happiness. The lotus flower here bringing the water cascading in a really peaceful, calming environment. You know, Ten of Cups is blissful family happiness. You know, it's also about doesn't have to be connected with family, although it usually is, but it's also about you having that inner peacefulness, that inner happiness, and being content with your life and where you're at. This is about blissful happiness, to be honest. So, you know, the outcome for this journey is looking really good for you. You started off with struggles, Gemini, but with some careful planning, you are going to make it into a really beautiful situation for you with, as I said, the Ten of Cups, with this prosperity card and luck being on your side. And we know that you've got spiritual intervention going on here. So I'm just going to round it off with a couple of Moonology, as I like to do. Here we are. Be real. Yeah, this is about you not being afraid to be who you are, afraid to come out of your shell, afraid to shine, you know, not being afraid to shine. You know, I think if you've been dealing with some difficult times, you've had some lessons to learn. It was maybe tough. There were maybe things you didn't want to face about yourself, Gemini, maybe, or the other people around you. And, you know, this is about being real, about what you dealt with in a good way, what you felt you could have dealt with better. It's all a learning curve, but this is about you finally being able to be the real you. It says find a balance. We talked about balance a lot because you have this Temperance card with this infinity symbol. It's very, very balanced. So there is, as I said, you've got balance anyway, because you've got the King of Swords and the King of Cups, and they're like the opposite ends of the spectrum, really. This is so important. Make time for self-love. If you're feeling depleted, Gemini, then you're not going to be able to give to others or give your time and energy to the products. What's that about? To the process that you're trying to complete or trying to work on. Know your worth. Know your worth, Gemini. You know what you can do to succeed. It's about your self-belief and pushing forward. Sometimes when we've faced a lot of obstacles, we start to second guess ourselves. We start to question ourselves, you know, and doubt ourselves. And Spirit is saying there's no need. Sometimes we have to deal with a set of circumstances that hold us back a little, but they're put in our path as a learning curve. You're through that learning curve now. You're now on your journey forward into a much happier place that is a place that's bringing in abundance. So the other card on the bottom of the deck under Know Your Worth, I just wanted to show you this, was Take Inspired Action. So yeah, this is about the importance of that planning time, being patient with yourself and your plans in order to get it just as you want it, in order to move forward, Gemini. That's really positive for you. I hope that was helpful to you. If you'd like help to look at your personal circumstances, then please do click on my Buy Me a Coffee link in the description box below, or on the QR code if you're on a bigger screen. And when you go through to that page, if you click on the shop tab, it'll show you all my readings that are available at the moment. They're all recorded, so you'll have them to refer back to. And yeah, if you like the reading, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It's the thing that you can do for me, because I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Gemini, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye for now.